Hi, I'm Nikki from the Little Art Bus. Today we're going to be painting this adorable Rosy Bunny. To paint along with me, make sure you have your Little Art Bus paint kit. If you don't already have one, you can purchase one through the website or click the link below. Let's get started.
Here are the supplies we'll be using for this painting. The brushes we're going to be using are a large flat brush, a medium flat brush, a medium round brush, and a tiny round brush. I'm going to be using 2 different cups of water. A big cup for cleaning our brushes, and a small cup to use to thin our paint. I've got my napkin and a paper plate for all of our paint colors. The paint colors I'll be using are pure white, bright yellow, island blue, magic magenta, royal purple, and jet black. Okay, I'm going to start with my large flat paintbrush. I'm going to lightly tap my paintbrush in the small cup of water. You only need a little bit, you don't want it too drippy. Then I'm going to pick up a bunch of white paint, about this much. I'm going to brush it all over my canvas. This is called priming the canvas. Priming our canvas will help our other paint colors go on smoothly, blend better, and appear more vibrant. You can add a little bit of water to your brush to help spread your white paint out better. Don't forget to paint the sides. Let's get the top. And the bottom. Okay, my canvas is primed. I'm going to rinse out my brush, and we're just going to let the canvas dry a bit. And next I'm going to paint the bunny's eyes and mouth. To paint the eyes, I'm going to use my medium round brush. Get a little bit of black paint on the brush. Add just a little bit of water. And then I'm going to trace the lines I see. I'm going to kind of form a moon shape. Then just fill it in. I'm going to let that dry, then I'll go back in later and add that white twinkle. I'm going to rinse out my brush. Now get a bit of white paint. I'm just going to add a dot right here and a little sparkle here. Now our eyes are bright, shiny, and cute. I'm going to rinse out my brush again, and then I'm going to paint the nose and the mouth. Using the same brush, I'm going to grab some magic magenta just on the tip of my brush. I'm just going to trace over the lines. Now I'm going to get a bit of white paint and do a little blending. Wiping my brush off, getting a little more white paint. Wiping my brush off again. I'm going to get a little bit of black paint just to darken this in. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to rinse off my brush again, wipe it off on the napkin, and then we're going to get started on the bunny's face. Okay, next we're going to grab our medium flat brush and we're going to start painting the bunny's face. I'm going to dip my brush into the small cup of water and get just a little bit on my brush. And now get some magenta paint. And I'm going to start brushing it along this line right here. This is going to be my darkest spot. I'm just going to brush it right along here. I'm dabbing some paint where the whiskers would be. And I'm going to add a little bit right here. And along here. Now I'm just going to wipe my brush on my napkin, then pick up some white paint. And I'll start blending out here, just smushing in some white paint. I smush it in because I want my bunny to look really textured. I'm not painting with strokes, I'm just kind of smushing my brush. If I start picking up too much magenta as I'm blending, and I need it to be a lighter spot, I'm just going to wipe my brush off on my napkin and grab some more white paint. I'm going to add some magenta right over here. I'm going to put some here too to make a little shadow. I'm not worried about making this perfect or trying to make it look exactly like the reference picture because I can't even paint exactly the same way twice. It will look different every time I paint it. Okay, I'm going to wipe my brush off again and get some more white paint. I'm going to put a little U shape here. Okay, I think we're good on the bunny's face. Now we're going to start right over here on this ear. Okay, so now we are going to start on the ear. So once again, I'm going to start on the darkest spot. So I'm going to grab some magic magenta on my medium flat brush. I'm just going to paint this dark area right here, right along this edge. I'm going to add a dark stripe right in here. I'm going to wipe my brush off, grab some white paint, and smush it in to blend. Adding the darks helps create contrast and dimension, so we have a three-dimensional picture instead of a flat picture. Okay, let's come over here and do the other side. I'm going to wipe my brush off and get some more magic magenta and go right along this edge. Wipe my brush off and now get some white. Just smush it in there. Add a bit of magic magenta here. I've got a bit of a white highlight right here. So right on the edge of his ear, we're going to leave that white spot. I'm just going to paint all of this magenta. While that's drying, we're going to paint right here to add some definition, so you can see that he actually has a three-dimensional face. I'm just going to clean out my brush. Wipe it on my napkin and set it aside. And I'm going to go back to my medium round brush. So now I'm going to make a light purple by mixing together a bit of white and some royal purple here in the middle of my plate. I'm just going to go right here where there would be this little bend. I'm going to get a little bit of white and blend. Going to add a little right here, just a little shadow, and right over here. I've got a little shadow right down here, so I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of black paint and add it to that light purple. And as you can see, the black really overpowers. You only need a little bit. My brush is kind of drying out. Anytime I get this drag right here, that just means I need to add some more water. I'm going to add a bit of white to help this shadow blend a little. Wipe my brush off, get just a little more white. Maybe add some in here. Now I'm going to clean my brush out. Wipe it off. And next, I'm going to start on the body. Okay, now I'm going to work on the body. So I'm going to get my medium flat brush and grab a bit of magic magenta paint. And I'm going to start right here under the little chin. Right along here and right here. Okay, I'm going to wipe my brush off, then grab some white paint and start blending. Just smush it in there. I'm just going to keep grabbing some more white paint and blending it with the magenta. Just keep rolling. I'm going to go dark along the little foot, the lucky little rabbit foot here. I'm going to start blending with white here because this whole area is light pink. This is kind of where his little tummy is. and in between his fat little legs. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and start blending white. And I'm going to put some magenta down here. And a little bit of white. I think we're done with our pink painting for now. So I'm going to clean out my brush, really smush it in there and swish it around. I'm just going to turn my napkin around here, wipe off my brush, and I'm done with this brush for now. So now I'm going to go in and add all these dark shadows to give it a little more definition and contrast. And then we're done with the bunny's body. Okay, let's add in our shadows. So I'm going to pick up my medium round brush again and get a little bit of black paint on the tip of the brush. And I'm going to go right along this edge here. I don't need much, just to get a nice dark line. I'm going to go all the way down here. And now I'm going to grab some of my purple and just start blending that out. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of white and blend that out just a little bit more. Okay, now I have a nice shadow there. So I'm going to go over to the other side and do pretty much the same thing. So just a black line here. Go all the way down. Bring it out over here. I'm going to make this little triangle shape here, and then it also curves around down under here. All right, I'm going to wipe my brush off, get a little bit of water on my brush because it's starting to dry out, and then I'm going to get some purple. Now I'm going to start blending. Blend down. It's going to start picking up that white paint blob I've got there. That's okay, I'll just keep adding purple to it. I'm going to wipe my brush off, get a little bit of black paint. And I want to blend this a little bit more, so I'm going to add a little purple. And I think I'm done with the ears. So now I've got some little shadows right in here, but they're a really light purple. So I'm just going to wipe my brush off, grab some white paint, and just add it into this purple that's already on my plate right here. And now I'm going to come along here, add a little bit more. I'm just smushing in some shading down here. A little here, and right over here. I got a little too much purple, so I'm going to add a bit of white. All right, and then I'm going to get some more white. And do just a little bit of fur shading right here. I'm going to wet my brush a little in my small cup, smooth those drags out. And now I'm just going to go in where I feel like I need to add some darker lines with the magenta. I'm going to try and cover up some of the outline. Okay, I am done with the bunny. So I'm going to clean out my brush. And the next thing I'm going to work on is the bow tie. Okay, I'm ready to start on the bow tie. I'm going to grab my medium round brush and I'm going to get some of my island blue paint. I'm going to do a little moon shape here. And put all of my dark shade here where the bow tie is cinched. I'm going to grab a little bit of water and a bit more island blue. Come around here. I'm not going to wipe off my brush, but now I'm going to grab some white paint. And start blending. Keep picking up white paint and blending it right in there. I'm adding a bit of blue to darken this area up. Grabbing some more white for down here. Okay, add a bit of white right in here. Now I'm going to wipe my brush off, grab some blue paint, and do the dark areas over on the other side. Get a bit of water. Okay, now I'm going to blend in some white. Okay, now I've got the bow tie painted, so I'm going to add in some dark shadows with a little bit of black. So get just a little bit of black paint on the tip of my medium round brush. And I'm just going to do a line here and a line right here. Don't worry about making it perfect. And a little line here. Do a little bit of an outline here along this edge. I'm going to come over here and do a little outline. I think I want to add a little more blue over here, so I'm going to grab some more island blue. I'm going to clean my brush. Now I'm going to add in some polka dots. I'm going to get a bit of white paint on my medium round brush. I'm going to do a little polka dot here. And one here. I'm not making them perfect, they're just kind of very abstract. I think I'm just about done with my bow tie. Okay, the bow tie is done, so now I'm going to start painting the foliage. Okay, now I'm going to start on the foliage. I'm going to grab my medium round brush again, and I'm actually going to make some green. So I'm going to take some bright yellow here and put it in a new spot on my plate. And I'm just going to add in some island blue until I like the green that I get. Swish it around. If I need it darker, I add more blue. And I think I'm good here. So now I've got a nice green and I'm just going to brush in my grass. I'm not trying to make this perfect at all. I've got a little shrub right here. I'm just going to smooth some in here. I'm going to put my medium round brush down for a minute, and I'm going to grab my tiny round brush. Get a little bit of water on there, pick up some of that green paint that I just made, and paint this little skinny stem here. Now with that same little tiny brush, I'm going to grab some yellow and go ahead and add a little contour to this guy. I'm going to grab a tiny bit of black paint. I'm going to go a little extra step further and just kind of add a darker line over here, like a little shadow. Here we go. I'm going to rinse my brush out, dry it off on my napkin. Now I'm going to do the same thing by adding a bit of yellow and contrast to the rest of my grass here. I'm going to clean this brush out really well. Wipe it off on the napkin and grab some yellow paint. I'll paint some right over here and some right here. I'm just adding some yellow in here. I'm going to add a yellow line to all of these blades of grass. Wipe off my brush. Now I'm going to add some white, a little bit of highlight here. This is very springy grass. I'm going to clean my brush out. Now I'm going to paint the purple flowers. So now I'm just going to get some purple paint on my medium round brush. I'm going to swoop the paint around like this. Now I'm going to grab some white and paint in some little petals. Get a little more purple. There you go. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here to this flower in the corner. that's it for my purple flowers. So I'm going to clean out my brush, dry it on my napkin. Next, I'm going to work on my orange flower up here. I need to make orange. So I'm going to take my yellow paint, put it in a new spot on my plate, add in some magic magenta, swirl that around together until I get some orange. And now I'm just going to outline here. Go around, just kind of do the outline of my petals here. There we go. Now I'm going to wipe my brush off and I'm going to mix together some yellow and white. Yellow tends to go on a little translucent, so I like to add a bit of white to make it more opaque. All right, let's just blend that in. My little fiery flower. I'm going to go back in with my orange paint and try and make some darker lines. You can play around with this flower. Let's add a little magenta, why not? Wipe my brush off. Now I'm going to add a little bit of white for some highlights. There we go, a cute little flower. I'm going to clean my brush out, wipe it on my napkin, now I see a little spot on the bunny's foot that needs some blending here with some white paint and a little magenta. Okay, next we're going to paint our eggs and do a few more final touches. So I'm going to clean my brush out really well, wipe it on my napkin, and I'm ready to get started on the last bit of this painting. Okay, now I'm ready to paint my Easter eggs. I'm going to start with this orange one over here. I need to make some more orange paint, so I'm going to wet my brush a little bit. Get some more yellow and put it in the same spot as before. Add a little magenta. And I'm going to go around the outside. right over here. Okay, then I'm going to take my white and start blending. Wipe my brush off because I've got a ton of paint on it. Now I'm going to lighten this up a little bit. You can just mix that paint right on your canvas. Add a little dark shadow right here. Come in with some more white and wipe my brush. I'm going to let that egg dry for a second, and I'm going to come over here and work on my blue egg. I'm going to clean my brush. Dry it on my napkin. Get some island blue paint and go around the outside. Now I'm going to blend in some white. Blend, blend, blend. More white paint. I'm just adding more white paint to bring out the highlight on this egg. All right, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to come back over here to my orange egg and I'm going to add some green stripes. I'm going to make some more green paint, so I'm going to make some yellow and some island blue together on my plate. The darkest part of my stripe needs to be right here. And a little bit here. You can put whatever design you want to on your eggs. I'm just putting on stripes. I'm going to wipe off my brush and get some white paint. Paint over here. Now I'm going to come back over here to my blue egg and add some yellow polka dots. I added a little of the orange paint I mixed up to darken my yellow. Okay, now I'm going to clean my brush off. I'm going to go back over some of these lines because I can still see a little bit of black showing through. I'm going to get some magic magenta on my medium round brush and just gently brush that in there. There's one spot right here that I forgot to make a little darker. And there we go. That concludes our Rosy Bunny painting. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed painting this cute little bunny as much as I did. To keep up with all the fun on the little art bus, remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!